Chapter 916. Thus, Wilbur rang the bell on the desk to get the hotel's manager. The manager was also a beautiful lady. She entered and bowed politely at Wilbur. He surely was in a top-notch casino. Every single member of the staff there had the perfect body and looks. Wilbur looked at the manager and said, "Please exchange these chips for dash and dollars, then wire it into this card." He placed a card on top of the chips. The manager bowed and said, "I'm sorry, sir. We'll need some time to count the chips. You'll have to wait for a while." "How long will it take?" Wilbur frowned his brows. He assumed that an hour would be more than enough time to count the chips. This was not something complicated after all. The manager replied, "It's hard to say. Maybe tomorrow, or perhaps a few days." Wilbur's gaze darkened. Did they think he was an idiot? How could counting the chips take a few days? He said flatly, "Please tell your boss to see me. Tell him I would like to see him." "I'm sorry, sir. I don't have the authority to do that," the manager replied. Wilbur looked sullen, then said coldly, "Don't treat me like an idiot. If not, don't blame me for making things difficult." His words were so icy that the manager shuddered in fear. She replied timidly, "I'll go inform him right away. Please wait here." Wilbur huffed coldly and the manager left immediately. He sat on the couch, looking surly. Clearly, they thought he was a cheat. However, he has never cheated to win. If they were really going to use that as an excuse, he was going to show them. Soon, there was a rap on the door. "Come in," Wilbur said coldly. Bill slowly entered. Wilbur glanced at him and said, "I don't think you're the boss, right?" Bill smiled and stepped aside. "The boss is here." Samson entered the room with a cigar in his mouth, flanked by two men. "Mr. Penn." He greeted Wilbur with a smile and sat down opposite. Wilbur swept Samson a glance. He was a man in his 40s, looking smart and strong. He carried himself with an air of confidence and calmness a wealthy person would have. "How should I call you?" "Samson Honard." "Mr. Honard, isn't it against the rules to not allow your customers to cash out their chips?" Wilbur asked. Samson smiled calmly and said, "It's against the rules to cheat in a casino." "Are you saying I cheated?" Wilbur said frostily. "You're a cultivator. It's against the rules for cultivators to enter casinos. Even if you didn't cheat, no one would believe you, right?" Samson replied with equal iciness. Wilbur looked at Samson and said slowly, "Either you show me the proof, or you cash in my chips. If not, don't blame me for causing a scene." He, "You're a cultivator who cheated in a casino. What other proof do you need?" Wilbur slowly stood up and asked, "And how did you determine that I cheated?" "What else?" Samson replied. Right at this moment, Bill took a step forward, standing right in front of Wilbur. He said in a low voice, "There is only one outcome for cheaters in a casino: death. You can forget about getting the money." Bill's body surged with powerful spiritual energy and threw a punch at Wilbur.